Hey folks, welcome back to the channel, your home for all content, Lord of the Rings home. Today I want to take some time and take a video to talk about, I think, the biggest thing currently holding back Lord of the Rings home, or the biggest bug maybe is the best way to describe it. And I know everybody kind of has their pet peeve list of things they want to see fixed. And I'm not going to include things I know are coming out, so Bomber RNG is not something that I'm concerned about here because we know the fix is coming and we know what the fix is. I would like to see it hopefully implemented next week. You know, there's going to be a patch next week because they probably have to put in the character for Lord Balin and his event. So I'm hoping that we get a bunch of bug fixes, dwarf fixes, that sort of thing. Things on people's checklists. But for me, the biggest bug facing home is these soft locks. And they've been there since the start of the game. So I just wanted to take some time and talk about them a little bit and what worries me a little bit about them. So they kind of come up in all places of the game. They come up in, these are screenshots from my guild members. They come up in when you're doing ability challenges or PvE nodes, right? They come up when you're in arena and like you beat them in arena, but you don't actually get the win, right? They come up in the raid, especially chapter 2 of the raid. I know this one, a lot of people know about now, right? You're not supposed to stun the cave troll with Nuraz's Troll Stonebreaker. That pretty much puts you right into a soft lock state. But I've seen other people who don't have Nuraz on their team or don't even have somebody who can summon on their team, and they get into a soft lock state mostly in chapter 2 of the raid at the moment. So there's a wide variety of causes, it seems like, and it also seems like there's a wide variety of instances where this is going to crop up. One of the biggest ones that really, I think, affected this game was that there was basically this tutorial soft lock bug when they first launched. And I think people saw that, got a soft lock, and were like, okay, I'm in the tutorial. What are we doing here? And I think that really affected the game. And I still see, I have people in my Discord come and talk to me and say, okay, I can't even get through some battles or even switch through some screens in the early game because everything kind of just locks up. I'm not a game developer, so I can't tell you what the problem is. I can't tell you how long it will take to fix. But I can tell you is that people are kind of getting frustrated and upset about that. And so I can look at the results of these soft locks and say, I think this is probably an issue that needs to be prioritized. So what I'm worried about right now is some stuff that Nick Reinhardt mentioned in the Taunt interview, which I think was great and obviously really a shot in the arm for the game. I think it was really well done. It got me super hyped. They've said that they were going to increase communication in their last journey ahead, and they've done it. And so we have to give credit where credit is due there. But one of the things Nick said was basically that the Balrog, getting that chapter 4 out is basically sucking all the air out of the room. It's where they're dedicating all of their resources. And I understand that, right? Because they have 3 marquees coming for October now that are going to probably line up with the chapter 4 of the raid, and that's how they're going to monetize. What really worries me is that they're basically not going to give themselves any time off to kind of sit down and sort this out for once and for all. And they're just going to immediately go from chapter 4 of the Balrog raid out, finished, and then move right into, making sure that we get to glyphs. And that's because that's the big next feature that can be monetized, right? So that's what worries me, is that these soft lock issues are going to kind of get left by the wayside. And I think, personally, it would be better if, maybe the glyph system gets delayed by a little bit if they need the time to fix all of the sources for these soft lock issues. Again, I don't know exactly what is causing them. I don't know if it's device related or certain things in games. It could be a wide variety of things that are causing this, right? I personally would like to see them take some time. Okay, sit down. Let's just crunch through bugs. Let's just get some of this soft lock stuff out of the way, make sure that it really doesn't happen, and then put in place some stuff to, when it does happen, we're able to address it pretty quickly and effectively, because in reality, it's a live service game. Bugs are going to come up. So I just want them to take some time after they've released the chapter 4 of the raid and just kind of shore up the edges, right? Get their house in order a little bit. Unfortunately, I think historically, these types of games have very aggressive content schedules, very aggressive monetization schedules. And we know that basically there, or at least my understanding is that there was a pretty big shakeup in management, during the beta. And I think that probably played a big role in, okay, we have to push something out, but it's probably not in the state that they wanted to push things out in. I mean, I'm sure thank you for subscribing, David Williamson. Thank you for sliding into the channel. I don't think it was intentional. I don't think they're like just trying to grab cash. I don't think any of that sort of stuff. I think there's basically, they have some sort of schedule that's maybe not imposed by them that is super aggressive, and it's just so that they can keep the monetization ramping up. I'm going to post a community poll in the pinned comment here, and I want you all to kind of tell me, I just want to get it. I mean, it's a poll that I'm doing in my own community, so it's obviously going to be skewed in some ways, but I just want to get a kind of finger on the pulse. Do you all feel like it's good if they just take some time after the release of Chapter 4 of the Balrog raid, when they've got a few more resources, development-wise, and then just kind of, all right, let's knock these issues out of the park, make sure that we have the way to really address them moving forward, and just kind of shore things up? Or would you prefer that they can get to it when they can? I want glyphs now. I want GAC type or multi-squad PvP as soon as possible. I'm just kind of curious what you all think about that. I'm in the camp that I definitely think they should shore things up. The soft locks are extremely frustrating. That's kind of the two biggest things I hear the most complaints about. Bomber RNG, which they are changing and implementing a fix for, and relatively, they're doing it relatively soon, actually. And I'm a big fan of the fix and two of these soft lock issues. And I know that they're thinking about them and trying to address them. I go and look in the bugs and issues part of the Discord, on the official Discord, and I feel like every other, maybe third one, is like a soft lock issue. Yeah, it's just something I've been thinking about a lot. So I kind of wanted to just kind of get that off of my chest. I think this is the #1 issue currently plaguing Lord of the Rings Home for people who are playing it actively, and for people who are maybe thinking about wanting to play it, is when they encounter this. And they encounter it at all stages of the game in multiple game modes, on a variety of devices, as far as I can tell. So that's just something I wanted to get on everybody's radar. If you didn't know already, they are doing a ask me anything type poll or discussion or whatever from 9 to 11 Pacific Standard Time on a subreddit. It is the R Fantasy subreddit, not the Lord of the Rings Home subreddit. But I think that's also a really good way to reach out, do some communication, but also kind of try and extend their reach, try and get more people interested in the game, which I think is a good thing. It's good to want to grow the game. The game should grow. I want the game to grow. I do think we got to resolve some of these soft lock issues, especially the early on ones, if you want to try and grow the player base, though. That's it for me. Thanks for watching. Take it easy.